Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to uncover the hidden stories behind the corporate jargon. Today we're diving into a filing from Brookfield Real Estate Income Trust Incorporated. And let's just say it's all about the dough, specifically the distributions they're making. Alright, so what is the big news here? Well, Brookfield Real Estate Income Trust Incorporated, or BRIGHT Inc., as we might shorten it, is telling us about the money they re-handing out to their shareholders for September 2025. This isn't here a report about a massive new project or a shake. Up at the top, it is more like a window into how they re-returning value to the people who own a piece of the company. Think of it as the company saying, thanks for investing. Here is some of the profits. Now they have different classes of stock like Class I, Class S, Class D, Class T, Class C, and Class E common stock. Each of these got a slightly different payout. For example, Class I common stock got a gross distribution of $0.0707 per S-share. But after taking out their management fee of $0.0109 and a stockholder servicing fee of $0 for Class I, this is interesting because it means there was no servicing fee for this class, which is quite a lot compared to others. The net amount, the actual money that investors would get after these fees, came out to $0.0598. Contrast that with, say, Class E common stock. They also got a gross distribution of $0.0707 per S-share. But here is where it gets different. Their management fee was $0 and their stockholder servicing fee was also $0. Yep, for Class E, it looks like they passed on the entire gross amount as the net distribution. So, Class E stockholders got the full $0.0707 per S-share. This shows that depending on the class of stock you own, the fees charged can really change how much net cash ends up in your pocket. It's a crucial point for investors to understand the headline number isn't always the final number you receive. The filing breaks down these distributions per share for each stock class. What is important to understand here is the difference between gross distribution and net distribution. The gross is the total amount the company is putting aside, but the net is what investors actually receive after certain fees are deducted. Those fees include management fees and stockholder servicing fees. Different classes of stock have different fee structures, and as we saw with Class A, sometimes those fees can be zero. This means that for the same gross distribution, some investors might actually receive more in their hands than others. It's a clever way companies categorize their shareholder returns, and it is always worth looking beyond the initial gross figure to see the real impact of fees. Looking at Class T common stock, for instance, they had a gross distribution of $0.0707 per S-share. The management fee was $0.011, and the stockholder servicing fee was $0.0074. This left a net distribution of $0.0523 per S-share. Now compare that to Class I, which had a net of $0.0598. So even though the starting gross amount was the same, the net amount received by a Class T stockholder was less than that of a Class I stockholder due to higher fees. This highlights the importance of understanding the specific terms and fees associated with each class of stock you invest in. It is not just about the income generated, but also about the cost of managing that income. This report is signed by Michelle L. Campbell, who holds the title of secretary. This is a pretty standard part of these filings, just confirming that the company is officially submitting this information. It's a procedural step, but it anchors the report to real people within the organization. So, what is the big picture here? Well, Brookfield Real Estate Income Trust Incorporated is clearly communicating its regular dividend payments to shareholders. The key takeaway is that while the gross distribution looks consistent across many classes, the net amount an investor actually gets can vary significantly due to differing management and stockholder servicing fees. This suggests that investors in this trust need to pay close attention to the specific class of stock they hold, as it directly impacts their take-home returns. For Class E shareholders, it was a good month with no fees deducted, pocketing the full gross amount. For others, the fees took a bite, reminding everyone that fees matter. It's a straightforward disclosure of income distributions, but within it lies a subtle but important nuance about how different share classes are treated. Alright, that is our breakdown of this Brookfield Real Estate Income Trust Incorporated filing. What is your take on these distribution differences and what they signal for the company's strategy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps us out. And of course, subscribe if you want more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.